The South African National Editors Forum, that's SANEF for short, is launching its ethics inquiry into the media industry from today. This follows allegations by former Bosasa COO Angelo Agrizzi that unnamed journalists were paid bribes by the company. Well, the SANEF's inquiry is going to be chaired by Judge Kathy Satchwell to interview journalists, editors and members of the public. SANEF's Executive Director Kate Skinner is joining us now via Skype to discuss this further. Kate, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Well, yeah, this inquiry has been in the works, so to speak, for quite some time. I think it was SANEF, you took a resolution already last year that you needed to do this inquiry. Now, the day has arrived. Are the terms of reference very clear for this inquiry?
I think they are actually. We've worked on them over a long period of time. We talk about, in the terms of reference, we talk about exactly what we want to be investigated. But there is, of course, flexibility for the panelists to make their own decisions around, what they think they have to look into. We're clear about, the fact that we want this inquiry to be over in a year. We are also fairly clear around the issues of, the different groups of people that we want to make inputs. So exactly as you're saying, it's media owners, it's journalists, it's editors, it's members of the public, but it's also, for instance, groupings. So, for instance, Business Leadership South Africa would be asked to make an input, churches, unions, so that we get a very good overview of what people are saying about the media and issues around credibility.
Its credibility, therefore, means this inquiry, you'll hope, will restore faith in the country's media.
Absolutely, and we just believe that is so important. The media plays an incredibly important role in terms of democracy, and we want members of the public to feel that we are taking the issues of credibility and ethics very seriously. We're hoping at the end that there will be an action plan, very clear recommendations as to what to do, and that some of those recommendations, for instance, would include strengthening ethical codes, ethical practices, we wanted to basically address issues across the whole industry.
Now, I mean, there have been claims of capture, that some of us in the media have been captured by all kinds of interest groups, be they political, business, corporate, or in some cases the so-called white monopoly capitalist, including disinformation agents. Are you going to be inviting people who might have evidence of those claims to come and present them to this inquiry?
So that's really up to the panelists to make that kind of a decision, but my sense is they probably will. So it will be a combination of any individual, any grouping, who feel that they're aggrieved, they want to make a representation, they want to put in a submission. But also my sense is that the panel will go out and specifically talk to people and groupings that they feel have something to contribute, and it wouldn't only be people that would have grievances, but it would also be people that have really interesting views on how to strengthen ethics. So the other thing to say that is very important is that it's going to be forward-looking. It's going to be looking at what do we do? What do we put in place to ensure that ethics are strengthened? And so therefore, people that are academics, international experts on ethics would also be called on.
I guess it should be in the interest of everybody to also bear in mind that your inquiry is coming at a time where the governing party, for instance, for some years now, has been calling for a media tribunal, because it and other people in South Africa are saying we in the media cannot self-regulate effectively, and hence some of these things are happening. I mean, would you welcome those kinds of submissions? I mean, would you, for example, encourage the panel to ask the governing party to come and put that view of why there should be a media tribunal?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So, my understanding is that political parties would definitely make submissions. As SANEF, we are opposed to a media appeals tribunal, but obviously, it is still a resolution on the ANC's books. I mean, they certainly haven't talked about it for a while, but they would be absolutely welcome to put forward why they think a media appeals tribunal would be a way forward. And any other political party that might have similar views would be welcomed in terms of putting putting those views across.
Kate, this inquiry, does it only cover mainstream media? I'm asking this because we've seen the growth of online media and the social media kind of spaces. Is this inquiry across the board, all kinds of media, public sector, commercial, private sector, online media as well?
Yes, so it would include all the media. So it would be community media, your mainstream. It would be all platforms. I think also what's interesting to say that at the moment it actually doesn't include the SABC, because the SABC has gone through their own process of looking at political interference into their editorial decision making, but we haven't actually got the final outcomes from that inquiry. So we're waiting to get that, and if in fact, for some strange reason, we don't get, that final report, then we might, and it would be the panelists that would make that decision, might then look into SABC issues. But at the moment, the only one that is excluded is the SABC, and that's because we don't want to duplicate what has already been done.
Okay, thank you very much, Kate Skinner. And that inquiry, of course, it's starting today, and it's open to the public.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.